Andy, thank you. Now, the issue of dementia is back in the news. The number of people being diagnosed with early onset dementia is rising, with more and more people being affected in their late 40s and early 50s. It was also the subject of Oscar-winning film Still Alice, starring Julianne Moore. Well, my next guest was just 54 when he received the life-changing news.
When I was first diagnosed, it was a horrible feeling for about 3-4 weeks, knowing that I had this. It was one day at work, or I say one day, it happened over a certain period of time, and I was putting my tools down and forgetting where I put things in different rooms and stuff like that. In the back of my head, I'm doing right, but obviously my brain is not telling me to do that right thing.
Paul would just be more forgetful than normal. He just didn't seem quite right. I wasn't sure what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong.
I said to Tracey, it's not me. And she said, what do you mean it's not you? I said, it's just not me to do this forgetfulness. I'm a jolly person. I love my family, my grandchildren and everything. And I just do everything for them now, and my wife.
I'd like to think there was some magical cure would come along one day and everything would go back to normal. But I probably, in reality, we know that's not going to happen with Paul.
As time goes on, I know things are going to get worse. I'm going to forget even more. But I want to be myself around my children, my wife. I just want to be there for them for when, I know it sounds silly, but when things go wrong. Then if things do go wrong, then I would like to help Tracey sort those sort of things out if I can.
And Paul and Tracey Seymour are with me now. It's a very brave thing to come on and talk about all of this, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. Tell me what day-to-day life is like for you.
Good. Very good. Hopefully, while I'm sat here and hopefully people that I know are watching me, some of them think that he's okay, that there's nothing wrong with him. But there is something wrong with me, and I just want to try and sort something out for dementia and people who think they haven't got dementia, but they could also go and try and go to the doctors if they've got symptoms of, like I had,
so remind us of the symptoms.
The symptoms was just putting my kit down, work kit, and going to do something else, coming back and finding that I can't see it, I don't know where I'd put it, so I'd go and ask another colleague and he'd say, well, it's just at there, Paul. And this would happen probably about 4 or 5 times a day of forgetfulness, and I just kept denying that I had something wrong with me until one day that me and Tracey decided that we'd go and see the doctors, and he said that we'd have to go into Bath and they would do brain scans and stuff like that, and that's when they came up with dementia and the Alzheimer's. So we both sat down at home and decided to just get on with life, really. I'm a happy guy. I enjoy my children and my grandchildren. I've got a good wife. It's brilliant.
Sitting there smiling and holding
Yeah.
your hand. The diagnosis is obviously incredibly tough for the person that hears it, but also for the family. So, did you have any idea that this might be a possibility before the diagnosis?
Yes, Paul had become very forgetful at home. I knew something was wrong, wasn't quite sure what was wrong, and I think in the back of my mind I knew what lay ahead. I think I guessed, because I'm at home, I live with Paul, I knew just how forgetful he was. So yeah, I had the feeling this was the road we were travelling on, sadly.
And do you see changes day by day, or is it month by month?
All depends, really. Depends on the situation. Yes, I do see things day by day. New things are gradually creeping in now that hadn't arose before. Different things about where Paul's leaving things, that type of thing. Yeah, so there are day-to-day things. It's changing. It's changing.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you both here, and I know you're doing something very special as well, aren't you?
Correct, yeah.
Yes, we're going to do the Bristol Memory Walk for the Alzheimer Society. That's on Sunday the 6th of September, and anyone can register of any age. You can even take your dogs along. We've just registered my mum, and she's 83, so she's going to do it as well.
Good.
So our whole family are doing it. It's the first thing that we've ever done charity-wise, and we've got set up a Just Giving page, which is Paul and Tracey's Alzheimer's Memory Walk.
You know what's so incredible is that you've come on, you've talked about it on telly, you're doing all of this as a family together, and you're all sticking together, and it's been a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
It's nice holding your hand.
Nice for me holding your hand as well, my darling.
Thank you.
Now, after the break, John Waite brings us the food phenomenon that got Sex and the City girls excited.
Well, this just looks delicious.